G12. The psychology teen movie that we choose for review is Shutter Island's 2010. In this movie, Edward Teddy Daniels claimed as an investigator to solve the case of disappearance patients from Ashleaf Hospital on Shutter Island. However, in a radical twist, Teddy was a patient at the medical hospital named Andrew Ladies 2 years ago. So first, I would like to present about the psychological issues depicted by Teddy Daniels in this movie. First is post-traumatic stress disorder. PTSD is an anxiety disorder that brought by a traumatic experience. Throughout this movie, we can notice that Andrew Ladies was suffering PTSD as he experienced several flashbacks to his time as a veteran in World War II, as well as the murder of children by his wife. So next is delusions. Delusion is defined as an inability to distinguish between reality and imaginations. In this movie, after traumatic experience, Andrew developed the role of Teddy Daniels in the form of dissociative identity disorder. He created a fantasy narrative, and his delusions serve as a defense mechanism to protect himself from anxiety. So third is hallucinations. Hallucinations is the false experience that something is real when in fact it's just a fantasy. Andrew Ladies experienced both visual and auditory hallucinations. Andrew's hallucinations allow him to meet people who did not actually exist in real. Furthermore, the type of psychology disorder that was illustrated in this movie is delusional disorder. Delusional disorder is a psychotic disorder in which a person is unable to distinguish about what is real and what he imagines. According to the DSM, Teddy Daniels displays a characteristic of both grandiose and persecutory delusional disorder. Grandiose delusions can be illustrated by Teddy believed himself is a great investigator who has been dispatched to settle the disappearing patients. Besides, the persecutory delusions illustrated Teddy's delusions lead him to think about he was being watched and conspired against by the doctor. The reason he entered psychosis is because of trauma experience of a veteran of World War II, as well as a painful memory with his family. Andrew Lake's unconscious mind comes out with a counter personality, which is Teddy Daniels. The movie revealed Teddy's delusion disorder, in which Teddy Daniels and Andrew Ladies are the same person. Teddy Daniels is the fictional character that Andrew Ladies created for himself because he couldn't accept the reality. Next, I would like to further explain about the delusional disorder. The most common factor causing delusional disorder is genetic factor that inherited by family members. The most evident symptom of delusional disorder is the existence of non-bizarre delusions. Other symptoms include irritations or depressions and hallucinations. For diagnosis, if there are delusional symptoms, the doctor will record medical history and conduct a physical examination. Several diagnostic tests such as X-ray and blood tests will be conducted. If there is no physical reason, the individual may have further observation by professional doctor. The diagnosis might be based on diagnostic criteria in DSM. Furthermore, there are two types of delusional disorder treatments such as medication and psychotherapy. One of the psychotherapy frequently used by doctors is cognitive behavioral therapy. Besides for medications, antipsychotic is the primary medication used in the treatment of delusional disorder since 1950. So I think that's all from me. I will pass these sections to my next group members. Thank you.
Good day everyone, my name is Momin and my machine number is 2711124. So I will continue to discuss about how would life be when living with this psychological disorder. Based on the movie Shutter Island, we have our main character, which is Teddy, was suffering from delusional disorder. People living with these psychological disorders couldn't distinguish between what is real and what is imagined. But apart from the issues of their symptoms, people with delusional disorders can often communicate and operate normally. So in the movie, Teddy appears to be a smart, high-functioning individual, and he even holds on with his duties as an investigator to find out the truth of a patient's disappearance. Besides that, people with delusional illness may be so consumed with their delusions that their lives are interrupted. After having hallucinations of visiting a former psychiatrist in a cave, Teddy believes that the facility has drugged him from pains, pills, and cigarettes, and he believes that everyone in the facility is trying to retain him as a patient and track him on the island. Besides that, I will discuss about the impact of this psychological disorder have on oneself as well as to the other people in his or her life. So the first impact of this psychological disorder is one might hurt other. So the example will be Teddy almost killed Josh just because Josh called him ladies. Because in Teddy's delusions, Ladies is the one who caused his wife to death, but in reality, Teddy and Ladies is the same person. So the second impact of this disorder is hallucinations. In the movie, we know that Teddy often hallucinated his deaf wife and the little girl. The most obvious example definitely will be Ladies. Teddy hallucinating Ladies is the cause of his wife's death. So the third impact will be intrusive memory. Once frequently recall or has flashback to disturbing memory of this traumatic experience. So in this movie, we always have Teddy flashback of dead body in war, situation in war, killing Germans, suffer gut. So next, I will talk about the factor that caused the characters in this movie to live with psychological disorder. So the actual cause of delusional disorder, like many other psychotic conditions, is unknown. So in this movie, Andrew is believed to engage with delusional disorder is due to the environmental or psychological factor. According to medical news today, stress appears to be a cause of delusional condition. Abuse of alcohol and other drugs may also contribute to the problem. In this movie, Andrew engaged with drinking habits and most probably is due to his post-traumatic stress disorder from World War II. Besides that, trauma exposures is said to be the cause that contribute to the delusional disorder, according to medical news today. In this movie, we know that Andrew is facing a trauma attack through the front part of the movie by the appearance of flashbacks of his peers when he served as an army. But this experience doesn't affect him so much until he faced the family tragedies. So Andrew couldn't bear the harsh reality that his wife had murdered their children since he loved his wife so much. So Andrew shot his wife to death. His delusional disorders developed as a result of the trauma of family loss. His mind filtered out the traumatic event and created life less wounding. So that's all from me.
Hello everyone, my name is Yang Jiahao. My train number is 257246. And there are three kinds of psychological theories that are represented in the movie. The first one is the personality theory. There are 16 personality traits in every person, but they vary in degree from person to person. So you can do a quantitative analysis of personality. The main characteristics of the personality theory shown in the movie are levitation and psychology. The sixth is psychoanalytic segment Freud. The theory is to explain that human spiritual activities, including desire, impulse, thinking, fantasy, judgment, desertion, emotion, and so on, will occur and be carried out in different levels of consciousness, including consciousness, subconscious, and subconscious 3 levels, like different depths of earth, crust, and east, so-called the spiritual level. The third is motivated forgetting. Motivational forgetting refers to the phenomenon of forgetting certain events or people in order to avoid unpleasant emotions or inner conflict. This kind of forgetting is often caused by a certain careless or unconscious motive, which is a means of individual psychological self-protection. What is forgotten often conflicts with social more or evokes traumatic experience in the individual. That's all about my part.
In this Shutter Island movie, we believe that the main character, Teddy Daniels, has portrayed 3 personalities. The first one is diligent and smart. He was dispatched to Shutter Island by Senator to investigate what is really going on. And Teddy has a motive of his own visiting the island. He wants to find out the patient that called Andrew, who was responsible for killing Teddy's wife, Dolores. In the movie, we can tell that Teddy is a very goal-oriented person and spends many hours concentrating on work. His work ethics keeps him detached from family and friends. And besides, Teddy is also a very observant person. He is an excellent marshal because he never takes anything at face value. And Teddy observes and reads people very well, then carries with precision that leads to their logical conclusion. And for example, he was the first one to decipher the code that the missing patient Rachel left for him and his partner. Besides, it is very easy to see why he believes something dangerous and underhanded is going on, which is why is it a shock when doctor finds out that Teddy is actually Andrew all along. As we mentioned earlier, Teddy had an entirely different identity, which is Andrew Ladys. Andrew Ladys' personality is violent, and he is the mysterious untraceable prisoner for whom Teddy, another persona, is searching for. And in this movie, Andrew actually killed his own wife without apparent motive. And even before his wife killed their children, he was barely home and tends to abuse alcohol. And when he encounters conflict, he becomes angry very quickly and is very bad to control his own temper. Also, he had a history of physical violence with other patients, as exhibited in the fellow patient George's extensive facial scarring. And that is all from me. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Laurie Ching, matching number 270432. In Shutter Island, we can see that operant conditioning and social cognitive theory can be related. Due to traumatic experiences, we can say that Teddy demonstrates a learned response to avoid certain stimuli and to enforce the removal of anxiety through negative reinforcement, which he is an alcoholic after his wife passed away to avoid affecting the past stressful memory. Besides, water became a painful stimulus for him and created stimulus generalization. For instance, Teddy has seasickness, and in the scene of Dolores holding a liquid flask and when Mr. Skern drank water, but it cannot be seen in Andrew's view. So we can conclude that Andrew gave the same response to similar stimuli, which is avoiding seeing water. Besides, social cognitive theory can also be related, in which certain behavior of Teddy Daniels reflect Andrew's training and experiences as a US Marshal. For instance, in the scene of snatching the guard's rifle in front of the lighthouse, we can see that Teddy was very skillful in handling rifles and guns, as it was truly experienced by him. In self-efficacy theory, Andrew Ladys has a low self-efficacy because he decided to go for lobotomy. He acknowledged that he cannot survive with those stressful memories, so he can be set free from this pain because he chose to avoid the crimes and reality that he has committed in his past, and he is unconfident whether he is ready or not to face it. That's all for me. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ong Yao Ping. My meeting number is 269X. Intrinsic motivation is when one is motivated to perform a behavior or engage in an activity. So from the Shutter Island movie, the intrinsic motivation could be found based on the delusion of Teddy Daniels. In order to escape the painful experience in reality, Teddy created another self in the spirit and gave birth to a new story. He rearranged his own name in reality and named his new self from Andrew Ladys to Edward Daniels. With the purpose of curing Teddy's delusion, Dr. Cowrie and Dr. Sihan has created a scene based on the Teddy delusion. Teddy was assigned to investigate the disappearance of a mental patient of this confinement island. The patient name was Rachel Sorrento, which was arranged from his wife's name with the rules of four. This mission has another important purpose to him, which is to find out Andrew Ladys as Ladys in the course of his wife dies. The second one is intrinsic motivation. Intrinsic motivation occurs when one engages in a behavior because one finds it enjoyable and interesting without any obvious external rewards. From the Shutter Island movie, we found intrinsic motivation in this movie. When Teddy woke up, he could not face the crime of the past. In his memory, he indiscriminately killed prisoners of war, neglected to take care of his wife, killed his wife, and indirectly killed the children in the German concentration camp. Teddy felt that he was a monster. Teddy cannot accept such a memory because it is too painful for him. If he goes for surgery, he may become an idiot. A good man with a brain memory or the surgery will kill him. However, it is better to live with brain memories than living like a monster with a painful past memory. From the last scene of the movie, Dr. Sihan sat behind him and tentatively called Teddy Ted, but Teddy did not respond. Because Andre is in charge of the body, Dr. Sihan knew that Teddy was conscious of his real self, and at last he chose to live as a good man instead of a monster that he had lost. Thank you.